Today I'm going to talk to you guys about one of the toughest lessons you can likely learn in retail. We had a bicycle stolen out of our shop. So I'll tell you the story as best I can. I was not actually present in the store when this occurred. My salesperson was closing up the shop on a sleepy weekday when a gentleman came in close to closing. We probably had about 30 minutes left before closing when he strolled in. The interaction went pretty normally, and the gentleman was actually not shy at all about spending time in the store, chatting with my sales associate, and even showing his face on camera. Repeating the details from how my sales associate tells it, the gentleman came in asking about e-bike service and even showed him a picture on his phone of the e-bike that he was looking to get fixed. He then started perusing our inventory with kind of a passive level of interest until my sales associate let him know that we do offer test rides on all of our inventory. At which point the gentleman's eyebrows raised as if that was a novel concept, and he started looking at the inventory a little bit differently. He briefly asked about some of our Surleys and some of the more expensive bikes before surprisingly taking a lesser expensive bike out for a spin. Now, he didn't specifically do anything too far out of the ordinary, but my sales associate did tell me after the fact that he had sort of a strange feeling off of this guy. And here's the part where I tell you the embarrassing truth, that up until this customer came into our store, all of the test rides that we had facilitated up until this point, we actually just let people go right out the door with no check of ID or holding a credit card. We were operating with the old mom and pop honor system and just letting people take the bikes out. We operated this way for 5 whole seasons, if you can believe it or not, without it biting us in the butt. We are lucky to have our shop in a relatively safe area where crime is low. We don't hear too much about retail theft, however, no one is immune to it. And so, long story short, the gentleman went out for a test ride, and that test ride is still going on to this day. That's right, bike and helmet, he never showed up, he just left with the bike, and that was that. From there, we shook our heads, filed a police report, and realized that we probably should be taking IDs with our test rides. You live and you learn. Now we take an ID and credit card, and that's not to say that it makes us immune from it happening again, but it at least offers a small safeguard. Knock on wood, that was our first one in 5 years, and I'm hoping to keep that track record because if you look throughout the internet, most retail establishments suffer a lot more theft than that. It has since opened my eyes to some of the angles in which we may be susceptible, and we actually changed a few other store policies as well. So in addition to now collecting IDs in order for someone to test ride, we also no longer accept checks, as this was something that showed up in my research as a common form of fraud, somebody bouncing a check. And then the other thing that we do is if a customer chooses to purchase a bike online, we will process that transaction. However, when the customer comes in to pick up the bike, we will refund them their order and have them reprocess it in person with their chip in their card dipped. Your payment processor separates things by levels of risk, and if somebody wants to claim credit card fraud on an online transaction, you have essentially no evidence to support that that person actually transacted with you. Whereas if they dip their card in your physical machine, they have much less of an ability to draw back the purchase. If you've ever had a bike stolen out of your shop, comment below, let us know what happened, what the story was, and if you ever recovered the bike back into your inventory. If we can prevent one other bike from being stolen from someone else's retail storefront, then this whole experience will have been worth it.